All right, here we go. Episode 6 of our Frozen Horror series, where we're painting the axe-wielding lady, the Halberdier, or whatever, however you say. I don't know. The lady who holds the axe. It's pretty easy. Nothing too crazy. As first off, I always want to thank our YouTube members for your donations, and you guys are awesome. Envy sent me some extra money. I can't thank you guys enough. I'm continuing this on. We're not going to quit. We got so many games coming up to paint. I got some Warhammer I have to finish. We got a lot of stuff. If you guys want to see something specifically, make sure you send me a comment. Also, subscribe. You got nothing to lose. We got a ton of stuff we're going to be doing. But without further ado, let's go. All right, as always, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up this miniature, and we are going to start by scraping off all those nasty mold lines. If you need any supplies, hit that description below. I put links to everything, and it does help the channel because I do receive about 0.5% for everything that is sold. So barely anything, but I would appreciate it if you do that because you guys are awesome. You guys do support the channel, and I thank you. Next, we're going to hit with black primer. I'm using an airbrush just to make it look cleaner. I think the airbrush looks a little bit better, but you don't have to use airbrush. You can use whatever you want. Next, I'm going to use some white primer from above and just create that zenithal highlighting. All right, we're going to start off our miniature with the skin. We're going to be using, as always, those fair-skinned medieval folk, some Cadian Fleshtone. Next, we're going to do the hair in Wazdaka Red. For our armor, we're going to be using some Grey Knight steel. Now this is the pauldrons and the chest plate and the knee guards, or the knee pads. We're going to use a different steel color for our axe itself. For our leather armor skirt, we're going to use some Mournfang Brown. And for our two little belts around our skirt, we're going to use some Rhinox Hide. For the surrounding areas of our skirt, we're going to use some XV88. And for our undergarment area, we're going to use some Mechanicus Standard Gray. For our little bootsies, we're going to use some Dryad Bark all over there. We're going to do the laces here in a second. For the back trouser portion, or the leggings, or whatever you want to call them. If medieval people even had leggings back then, I don't think so. Were they wearing Lululemons? I doubt it. Dawnstone. For the straps on our knee pads, we're going to use some Tallarn Sand. And for our boot laces, we're going to use some Rakarth Flesh. Coming back to our Dryad Bark well, we're going to use this on the lower portion of the handle of our halberd. And for our metal pieces of our axe, meaning the top portion and the bottom portion, we're going to use some Leadbelcher. And for the underneath the top portion on the right hand, some dark gray. You can use whatever you want if you're sticking to Citadel paints, but I just use some dark gray for model color. And finally, as our final base color comes in, some Gorthor Brown on our gloves. All right, we're going to move to our wash phase. And the first one we're going to use is Reikland Fleshshade all over the face. Get that in there, don't be afraid. Next, on all of our metal areas, all the metal areas, we're going to use Nuln Oil. Do not put this on the hair. Do not put it on the hair. Next, we're going to use some Agrax Earthshade, and yes, we are going to put this on the hair. We're going to use this on the boots, all the leather portions, the gloves, all of those little areas right there. And once you're satisfied with your shading, let that dry for about 15 minutes or so. Go catch a little snack or a drink. All right, we're going to start with our flesh tones. We're going to take a reapplication of Cadian Fleshtone. Now, again, we want to focus on the bridge of the nose, the cheekbones, the chin, right above the lips, and the forehead. Keep those recesses as dark as possible. Next, we're going to do a 50-50 mix of Cadian Fleshtone and Kislev Flesh, and we're going to focus again on the bridge of that nose, cheekbones, chin, and the forehead. And finally, we're going to use some pure Kislev Flesh, and we're going to use this very sparingly on the nose, a little bit on the cheekbones, a little bit on the chin, and the forehead. Next, we're going to use our white. I did it off camera. I couldn't see very well for some reason, and probably I'm getting old. And we're going to use those in the white eyeballs. Next, we're going to use some Hoeth Blue, and we're just going to put little dots in there, and that's going to give her blue eyes. Now, you can put black in there if you want, but I decided not to. Next, we're going to use some Wazdaka Red on our hair again to brighten it up just a little bit. You're not going in the recesses. You merely want to get this on the red streaks, and that is it. Once you're satisfied with your Wazdaka Red highlight, go to some Tuskgor Fur, which is a little bit lighter, and it'll give you those little bit lighter red highlights. You can mix a little bit of red in there, or white in there, and kind of brighten up a little bit, but I just went with the straight Tuskgor Fur just to give it a little bit lighter look. It's almost unnoticeable, but when I looked at it, I noticed it, so I did it. For the armor, we're going to use some Iron Breaker. We are not using this on the halberd itself, and you'll see why here in a second. Next, because I just said we do this, we're going to use some Necron Compound on our halberd and the bottom portion. Now, you can use this on the armor as well. Just be very, very, very careful. We've already done the highlights, and we do not want to get this all over the place, so be very careful while you're doing this. Next, we're going to highlight up our skirt, and we're going to be using some Doombull Brown. Some Doombull Brown on that. We're just getting the raised areas, nothing in the recesses, of course. Next, we're going to use some Baneblade Brown, and we're just going to use this on our hands for our knuckles. And that's it. Very sparingly. We don't want to go overboard with this. Just enough where that light hits it and it gives you that kind of light brown look. For our belt buckle, we're going to use some Retributor Armour and get on that. And to highlight up our edgings just a little bit, we're going to use some Zamesi Desert around the edge of our skirt. And we're going to use some Rakarth Flesh again to brighten up our bootlaces just a wee bit. And finally, the favorite part of painting this miniature, because that means we're done, is the base. I'm just going straight Abaddon Black, nothing crazy. Nothing nuts. Again, this is a pretty simple, I would say, basic B miniature, but it was pretty easy. It turned out pretty good. It gives you that, helps you develop skills, help you get a little bit better at each time. I just want to say thank you for everybody for watching this and the continual support I get from all of you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you again for our YouTube members. You guys are amazing. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. You got nothing to lose. We got tons of games coming up. So until next time, paint on.